chew bubble gum.
You're listening to Hear the Chew Bubblegum, recorded from a secret location in the city that moves mountains.
Greetings.
We come in peace.
How's it going today, my friend?
I tell you what, thank God we have a countdown on our opening,
Why?
because I was not ready.
Why?
When I heard 10 to go, I was like,
You were
Panicking.
You were why? You were panicking?
yeah, I did.
I have never seen you panic.
I had to get
before.
my stuff ready to go.
Why? I've never seen you panic.
That's because I'm cool, calm, and collected always.
Man, the weather has took a turn for the worse. This shit sucks.
This has been the most Kentucky weather
Yeah.
I have ever seen.
I mean, yesterday was like, I actually drove out to an auto parts store yesterday, and I swear I think it was sleeting outside.
Probably was. Listen, so like 2 days ago, it was hot enough to fry an egg on the pavement, and then it got extremely humid at night.
Yes.
And then it rained for a while, and then it became a winter wonderland again. This is ridiculous.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But, you're always a fan of snow.
Yeah, but it didn't snow. It just
Well.
got cold.
Well, so if it's going to cold, it's going to snow. I know that made no sense. So,
Smile for me real quick and say this sentence. Red, brown dog.
no.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Go ahead and tell us what about you got to tell us about there.
Well,
Tell us about what you got to tell us about.
Pikeville Comic Toy Con, Saturday, July 31st at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. For more information, visit their website, pikevillecomiccon.net. They also have a Facebook page, or you can contact the e-store Comic and Tech Shop on Facebook, or call 606-263-4946 for additional information.
Sounds good to me. We will be there. Also, guess what I did yesterday? I've been going to do this for about a month now. I updated our website.
Well, here's the thing. You can't just say, guess what I did yesterday, and then not let me guess.
Well, okay. Go ahead and guess what I did yesterday.
I'm going to say that you updated the website.
Yes, I did. You are correct.
Look at me.
I wrote on our homepage, I wrote a little blog about what we've been up to, and I changed our links page. It is now listed as other sites of interest / friends of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you get a chance, be sure to check out heretochewbubblegum.com.
That's .com.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We have someone very special in the studio with us today.
Who?
He's sitting right beside you. Our friend, really good friend, Elijah Griffith, the comedian.
I don't know about special, maybe special ed. That sounds more fitting.
He snuck in. I didn't even see him come in. I didn't realize he was here.
I came through the rafters.
People were clapping.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, everyone.
welcome.
Thank you. It is an honor.
No. Get your hands off the board. I was waiting on you to say something. I was going to hit that one.
No.
Goose, Cronkite, it's an honor, boys. Thank y'all for having me back up here.
Thank you for coming by.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, thank
love
you for
having
being
you
back.
in the studio.
We were looking forward to having you a couple weeks ago when we did the Roundtable show, but somebody had to go on vacation with their wife.
And
it was their anniversary.
And the minute I come back from vacation, we have some of the crappiest weather that I've ever seen in the month of May. I should have just stayed.
Yeah. Well, no, because then you wouldn't be here.
I should have just stayed.
Yeah, I totally agree. You should have stayed, and then we could have eventually worked our way to the beach, and then
yeah,
interviewed him
See,
back.
that's what we got. This you got a road master. You can take it on the road.
Yeah. If we could have been there, yeah. You should have stayed. That's right.
You should have stayed, and we'd have eventually worked our way down to you.
Well, that's where a lot of these, what are they called now? UAPs? That's
Yes.
where they're being noticed, is off
Yes,
the beach.
yes, they are. So, how's things been going? I understand you got to do some stand up for a little while back.
Yeah, it was my first stand-up gig in a year and a half. and it went just as I thought it would. It was horrible. It sucked.
No,
Nah,
no.
it was actually a good time. I used some old jokes to kind of get back in the rhythm
There
of
you go.
everything. But a big shout to the Laughing Post Comedy Club. It's kind of they're closing now. It is probably because I
Really?
performed there. That's probably the exact reason. But no, they were great people out there in Lexington who. I don't know why they're closing, but a big shout out to the Laughing Post Comedy Club. They helped out a lot of comedians in the Eastern Kentucky region, and hopefully they do something else because we need more comedy clubs here around there.
Definitely.
I agree. I think we should have one around here.
Yeah, I think we should, man. There is such a big calling for it. I mean, whenever we brought Donnie Baker in just a few
Yeah.
years ago, that sold out like that. I mean,
Yeah.
people need to laugh nowadays more than
Oh,
More than ever, yeah.
I totally agree with you there.
But
What would you name a comedy club back here, just out of curiosity?
I don't know, man.
I think I would call it Laughing Fart if
Why?
I was going to name a comedy
It's a
club.
good one.
You know what? I knew you were going to say that
Why?
because every show you say something about a fart. Every show.
Well, that's because you're sitting over there doing it.
But farts are funny. Farts, like, I mean, like,
but I knew he was going to say. I knew he was going to call it something fart. I knew it.
it would, I think laughing fart would actually be good because a fart, that's one of the funniest things anybody can do.
That's not true.
A 1-year-old can fart, and it's funny.
Yes.
Oh,
A 99-year-old
give
can
us-
fart, and
give-
it's
give
even
us a-
more
give us-
funny.
give us a joke.
It is not funny when Cronkite farts.
No, it's tragic.
He has been known to blind people.
I have also never flatulated in this bunker.
Bullshit.
However, Goose over there, it has been recorded that Goose has.
You
Listen.
have too, man.
That's
Hey.
not true.
I farted right when I first got here. Okay, I ain't got no shame about it.
Give us a joke.
Man,
You put him on the
can't
spot.
put people on the spot like that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't come in. You can't come in and say that you
Okay.
did a comedy show
Okay.
and not expect to get some.
Well, I'm not going to say any of my like good bits, but I'll give you some one-liners
All right.
that I've been working on. Okay. Do. Is this clean? Do I have to be clean?
No. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was looking for. Was like a really clean joke because that's what I thought we
He's
had to
been
do.
scrolling
Okay.
for a while.
Dude, it takes a minute. I'm not a clean comic. Like, I'm not gay, you know, but sometimes I'll eat a popsicle and think to myself, I could do it. There we go. There's a joke.
I like that one. You okay over there?
I'm good. I'm just recovering from this weather, and now I'm dying from the phlegm that's in my throat.
Yeah. How's everything going with your new vehicle? In case you guys don't know it, Cronkite he has a soccer mom vehicle.
Uh-oh. We talking minivan?
Yeah.
Man, I love minivans. I'm trying to talk my wife into getting one. She won't let me.
I mean, it's okay. I'm not using it for like minivan purposes. I'm using it as a cargo vehicle. It's a second job.
He actually had a sign on it last week. He was in the park and he had free candy, and people were running away from him.
That's where I got this Kit Kat.
Yeah, that's where that's where he got his kick at, bro.
And got some great sleep, too.
I don't need you to be like already killing my business,
All right, sorry, man.
jackass.
And he has a company. It's called Fat Man in a Van.
It's not called that. It's called Hurry Curry.
No, it's called Fat Man in a Van.
I don't like the fact that you're making fun of my weight.
I'm not
You know
making
I'm
fun of
sensitive
your
to that.
weight.
You know I'm
Dude,
sensitive to
you're
that.
the one that even told me. I'm
How-
going to name it Fat Man in a Van.
How
That's a
dare
great
you?
name,
How
actually.
dare you? How dare you? This is unbelievable. It's just typical Goose to come out and call just because you're skinny.
Dude, I'm not skinny.
I'm skinny and like. Wait a second.
Yeah.
What does that shirt say?
It says, I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And
So-
I'm all out of bubblegum.
Rowdy Poffer, by God.
You like that?
I do.
See, you just now noticed it.
I did.
So,
I don't look at you.
it looks good, don't it?
Yeah.
My better half bought me this. So,
Nice.
thank you very much.
It is a good shirt, man. Y'all need to make more of those.
Well,
I'll definitely take one.
This is officially not ours, but we are in the process of designing some shirts, and we will be sure to hook you up with one
Oh, yeah, man.
when we get them. Well, maybe we'll have like 3 different designs,
I think so. Yeah.
and we'll hook you up with all 3 of them.
Nice.
I'm going to do a shameless plug real quick. For anyone who needs anything transferred or curried, please reach out to Hurry Curry. That's Hurry Curry for all of your transportation needs.
So that's the name of your business.
Yes.
Hurry Curry? What's
Yes.
What's Curry?
Like a courier service.
I've never had to use one.
Stop it.
What I'm sorry. What do you do?
I can literally deliver anything that you need delivered.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Let's say we have somebody that is going to help somebody get pregnant, and let's say this lady lives in Lexington,
Okay.
and they're all going to do it factory wise, and the guy lives back here in our area,
Okay.
and he's going to supply, what she needs to mix with her eggs in the lab.
Okay.
Would you go pick up his sample and take it to Lexington?
Yeah.
How much would you charge for that?
Depends on how it's packaged.
Maybe
It's-
how much there
it's-
is.
it's-
to,
Yeah, if there's like
Hits in
50
a cooler.
pounds of it, there might be.
No, it's one vial. It's in a cooler.
Uh-huh.
A Yeti cooler? Like, this thing has to be secure.
Yeah.
To Lexington? I don't know. Make an offer. I assume we're talking about you.
No, we're not talking about. I'm just what if in here.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'd have to see how it's packaged.
And maybe if it smells.
You'd have to
Yeah.
see how it's packaged.
Yeah, because-
would you want to watch him give the sample?
I would not. I would only need to see how it's packaged because I don't want to be cleaning that up out of the carpet of the van.
Okay. So
yeah,
you're-
can you imagine wrecking?
Yeah.
God.
sorry, Mr. Cronkite, you've got hair gel stuck to your ear.
Instead of Mountain Parkway, it's Mountain Milky Way.
I don't know how it happened, Kronka, but you are pregnant. What?
Has some mutant birds eating it off the side of the road.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's get on to some listener email.
Oh, God.
And I love this first one. I saved this one for me. It's James from Kentucky. Great show last week, guys. I love the roundtable shows. Can't wait for part 2. P.S. Cronkite is a booger. LOL.
I'll take that.
I've never heard anybody be called a booger before.
I'll take that.
That's the first.
But here's the thing. Which I don't know. You said it's James?
Yeah, James from
I
Kentucky.
don't know James from Kentucky. But I do know you, and since you reading his email, I'm going to assume it's you that's calling me that. So I'm going to say I've been called worse by better people.
Oh, okay, but
that's
it's
a
not
good-
me. But it's not me.
Oh.
The guy's making reference a couple weeks ago on the roundtable show. I told Cronkite he didn't look like the Mucinex booger anymore because the week before he was under the weather, and when we recorded our radio shows.
I would hate to think what people actually think that I look like on a daily basis because the way he describes me, I'm probably look like a fat pimple that has pus coming out everywhere.
Dude, all I said was on the first
Just
comment
like
was
zits
if you had green pajamas on, you would look like the Mucinex booger. That's all I said.
Okay, and the Mucinex booger has like stuff coming out of everywhere. So
But he
like,
is on TV. I mean, he is famous.
but you
Most famous.
I would imagine
you
people,
were sick that day.
Yeah, I would, but I was not like throwing snot out of my eyes and my ears. you act like I'm a. I would hate to. Everyone who is listening who has never seen me before, just by the way Goose has described me over the last few shows, go ahead and make a drawing because I'm genuinely curious.
That's a good idea.
I
I'm
would like to
genuinely
see that.
curious as to what people painted a picture of me since you've been talking about what I look like.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be
I'm
awesome.
interested in seeing these.
Me too. I think it would be a good idea. I think, and I think maybe we pick the best one and we put it on our Facebook page.
Hey, sounds great to me.
All righty. Ike from Missouri says, "Hey Goose, the sign off you say it sounds very familiar to me. Is it an original or did you hear it before? I like it and decided to use it. Also, if I can work it out, I hope to come there to Comic and Toy Con Roswell."
And who was that, Ike?
This is Ike from Missouri.
Well, thank you very much, Ike. Actually, the tribute that I sign off with, that is what Bob Caudle used to say in the original NWA wrestling back in the 80s. So that's kind of a tribute to
Wrestling.
him. So, yes.
Wrestling.
Wrestling by God.
Go ahead there, sir.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, this is exciting. Elliot, fan from Indiana. Wait, am I supposed to read that one?
Yeah.
Elliot's not here, though.
Yeah, well, you can still go ahead and read it.
Fine. Elliot, you did great on the show last week. You are a wealth of knowledge. I wish you could be on every show with Bruce and Concat. Roswell. Aw.
That was a good one.
I think Elliot adds something to the table. I think he
does.
He's so smart. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell that dude knows exactly what he's talking about.
He knows exactly what he's talking about.
I have a blast every time he comes here. I think
Yeah.
he's an excellent person to bounce stuff off of.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
And he's like they said, a wealth of knowledge. That is a perfect way to describe him. Mm-hmm. And I love you, Elliot.
Eddie from
Popsicle.
Virginia says, "Hey Cronkite, so far no clouds or chemtrails today. I don't know. Well, he's from Virginia,
Yeah.
and it is warm, and I'm going to try to meditate. Your stories on chemtrails have really got me thinking. Roswell, my friend.
Roswell.
So
Good.
nothing else to say.
No, think about it. I mean, it's just strange. I mean, I don't understand why people think it's chemicals, but I could be wrong. But I don't think it is.
I don't. Yeah.
Dixon09 says, "Hey Goose, Cronkite, and Elliot, my hat's off to you. I didn't think you could top last round table show. But are you trying to show? Oh
No.
I thought you were trying to show me something.
No, you're fine, brother.
But you proved me wrong. I can't wait for Elliot and the Spooky Family podcast. I'm glad that he's going to continue to do Elliot's articles segment. Again, great job, guys. Ear candy craving was satisfied. Thanks, Dixon09.
Y'all need to come out with like y'all's own line of candy and call it ear candy.
Oh, that is a great idea.
Why have we not thought about that?
I don't know, but that's an excellent idea.
Why did it take the guy who wants to do things to Elliot to come in here and suggest something
Yeah,
that's
Because
so
I want to eat
obvious?
this candy off of his body. That is why. Jeffrey from Kentucky. Hey, Goose and Cronkite, you guys cover a lot of interesting topics. Do you ever get worried about who may be listening or what you're talking about? Just curious, Jeff. Ooh, that's good.
That's a very good question.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, yeah, but most of the stuff we talk about, you can find relatively easy on the internet. It's not like we're probing the back channels of the dark web. I mean, this is all Google searches pretty well.
Well,
you know?
no, it's DuckDuckGo searches.
Oh, sorry.
So, have you been using DuckDuckGo since we talked about it?
Actually, I have,
2
yeah.
weeks ago?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a lot better than Google.
Yeah,
So,
I think so.
and you said sometimes. So, what was you scared of? Sometimes I've never been afraid to speak about anything we've talked about on the show.
I mean, not really. I wouldn't say afraid, but I mean, just kind of mindful of maybe who might be listening.
Right. Well, you know, there was a couple of shows where I did watch my surroundings very, very, very close after I left.
Those are the particular shows I'm talking about.
Okay. And we'll actually be talking about that piece of a puzzle coming up in segment 3.
Oh, good. Another 2 weeks of looking over my shoulder. I can't wait.
LT from West Virginia says, I want to say that Justin from Talk Junkie did a great job last week, and I hope that you have him back on the show soon. And Justin will be back, I think, maybe next week with us.
Justin's a hoot. He makes me sound stupid. And
No, we don't.
yes.
That dude is smart.
Yeah, he is
He's
so
really
smart. Like
smart.
every time I like stutter out a sentence, and he's just like, "Well, you know what happens is."
And Cronkite thinks he sounds like
Yeah.
Michael Roker.
Yeah, Rooker. Has it? You know who Michael Rooker is, right?
Yeah, he's
I
the-
don't think so.
Yeah,
Wait,
he is the weatherman on CBS this morning today.
That's not true at all.
That's Al Roker.
yeah, that's
that's what I was thinking.
not even close to the same name.
They're cousins.
He was in Cliffhanger. He was in Days of Thunder. What else was he in?
He was in The Walking Dead as Merle.
Yeah.
Dude, never watched The Walking Dead. Yep.
What about,
Never got into that show.
What was the '80s movie that he was in where he was the serial killer?
Let me look at. What'd you say his name was?
Michael Rooker. I don't know.
I know the name of it, but I can't think of it right now for some reason.
I bet I'm not spelling Rooker.
There is it's a Rooker, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But there was
Okay, yeah, I've seen that dude in movies before.
yeah. I mean, and he has a voice. I mean, just sounds just like Justin. 100%.
Justin, yeah, he's one of the smartest dudes on the planet.
Yeah.
I had a chance to get him on mine, and man, just whatever topic you brought up, there was something he
he's-
knew about it.
yes,
Knows everything
yeah,
about
Yes, he
everything.
does.
No,
Yes, he does.
big shot, Justin.
What does your next email say?
Mine says mine is from Starman of the Unknown. He says, "Hey Goose and Cronkite, I'm not from the future or anything. I like keeping my identity hidden. I would recommend that you re-listen to your interview with Melissa of the Denver airport. Listen for the tone in her voice and the way she answers the questions. You guys are onto something. Keep searching in the truth. You know, we were just talking about that, weren't we?
Yes.
We actually
were.
did go back and listen to that interview, and we hear what you're saying because it's definitely...
Oh, definitely.
It's weird.
Very, very, very weird.
And Zen from Florida. I like the name. Zen. Hello, everyone. I really enjoyed last week's Roundtable show, and I'm now a fan of Talk Junkie and Justin Perkins. Damn right you are. Can't wait for the second part. Roswell, guys. Nice.
Good one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Justin.
No.
He is an excellent person to talk to. I mean,
Yeah.
he knows everything about everything. He is just...
But the network that we have around here with podcasts too is so cool because everybody supports everybody.
Yeah.
There's nobody trying to be bigger than
that's-
anybody or anything. It's just like, if you want to be on my show, come on.
Yeah,
Let's make it
exactly.
happen. We'll cross promote as much as you want.
That's
a
the way it
beautiful
should
thing.
be,
You're
too.
Yes.
exactly right. That's exactly the way it should be.
My last one, Lucy from Kentucky says, hey, here to chew bubblegum. Loved the Roundtable show last week. Have you ever thought about having a fan of the show join you? Maybe you could do a contest. No, we've never thought about that, and no, we probably will not do that at this time.
No, not at this time. But however, the if you are going to be at the Pac-12 and Toy Comic Con on July 31st, any fans of the show are more than welcome to come talk to us.
Yes, they are. We may be open to that once we move out of the bunker and into Here to Chew Bubblegum Studios.
Yeah, Papa don't like it that we're...
No,
He don't even
no.
like me being here.
Well, you didn't have to tell people that.
Why?
Well, I don't know, man. You just didn't have to.
I'm lost. Genuinely lost now.
Well, Papa listens to the show, and you'll hurt his feelings. There, I said it.
Papa.
Papa is just going to get over it.
Well, Papa's not going to get over it.
Papa is not...
Do I need to make love to Papa as well?
I think. Listen, I don't think his honeymoon went as well as he's leading on, or his anniversary trip.
Well,
Honeymoon number 2.
Yeah,
we're
honeymoon
going
number
to take a break. We'll be back. You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum, with Goose, Cronkite, and our friend Eli. We'll be back in just a moment.
Take a lighter look into the darker side of the world. Join Elliot, Gertie, and Beagle as they jump into the dark abyss of hauntings, fables, UFOs, and beyond. The Spooky Family Podcast. You can find them where you listen to quality podcasts.
You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. If Abraham Lincoln were alive, he'd listen. But he's dead.
And welcome back to Here to Chew Bubblegum. My name is Cronkite. That fine feathered gentleman across from me is Goose, as always. Sitting to my direct right is the comedian, myth, the man, the legend,
Jeffrey Epstein.
Eli. So something I noticed on the last segment is we didn't give our information out.
Yes, will you go ahead and do that?
I sure will. So if you want to call, text, or leave a voicemail, you can always reach us at 606-373-3396. You can email us, goose at heretochewbubblegum.com or cronkite at heretochewbubblegum.com. You can also reach Ned and Elliot at heretochewbubblegum at yahoo.com, and in the subject line, put attention Ned or Elliot.
And also, we want to remind everyone that if you have bad news to break to anyone, we will now take that bad news and call them on the show and break it to them. Just send us an email at the email that Cronkite gave. If you want to break up with your boyfriend, if you want to break up with your girlfriend, if you own a small company, want to let an employee go, whatever it may be, if it's bad news, reach out to us, and we will call and break the bad news to that person on the show.
We certainly will. And also, speaking of companies, Hurry Curry is in business now, ladies and gentlemen. If you need anything transported,
Dead bodies, anything.
just let Cronkite know. Shameless plug. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How can our listeners contact Hurry Curry?
Well, currently you can email me, Cronkite at Here to Chew Bubblegum, or you can. I haven't got a Facebook page set up yet, so please just email me at Cronkite at Here to Chew Bubblegum right now.
What if I have a family member that dies and I want to save some money on the funeral, and the nursing home wants to charge me so much money to bring the casket and everything up to the graveside, and I'm like, I ain't going to pay that. Can I hire Hurry Curry to bring dead Papa up to the cemetery?
How long has Dead Papa been dead? And is he decomposing?
Hey, he's in a casket. He won't stop. I've got some Febreze.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
That'd be wild.
Will you play Another One Bites the Dust as you're transporting the body?
Of course I will.
Okay.
Of course I will.
Oh,
I can't wait to see like what you're having to carry.
You all are shooting my business in the foot right as we
no.
go.
No, well, I think we're doing it good because like people are saying that you'll just do anything.
Yeah, I'll haul anything. Apparently, I'm hauling
All right, let me
sperm
ask you a
cells to
question.
Lexington.
What if somebody contacted you and they wanted you to go to the New Mexico-Texas border, and they wanted you to bring some people back? Would you bring some people back?
Depends on how many. I only have so many seats in the van.
How many seats do you have?
I have 6.
All right, let's say they wanted you to bring 6 people back.
Sure.
Would you bring them back?
Depends on how much money it's paid.
And they have live chickens as well.
Listen, they can fit 18 people in there. Okay, they can do it.
Depends on how much money I'm getting paid for it. You all are going to get me into some legal activity. Let's not do this.
Oh, have you heard about the? And I know you've heard about it because we touched on it just a little bit when we recorded the radio shows earlier in the week. Russia plans to launch a nuclear-powered spacecraft that can travel from the moon to Jupiter. The nuclear-powered spacecraft can go to the moon, then Venus, then Jupiter. Russia's Federal Space Agency announced last Saturday that Spacetug, the term for a spacecraft that transports astronauts or equipment from one orbit or another, is scheduled to launch on an interplanetary mission in 2030.
Who thought of that name?
Spacetug?
I've seen that movie before.
The story goes on to say that the spacecraft's energy module, named Zeus, is designed to generate enough power to propel. You just broke your ink pen.
I did. It scared me a little bit.
I can see
Getting
that.
excited about Spacetug.
Yeah, I'm real pumped about
Yeah,
it.
you gave it a pen tug. Anyway, it says that Zeus is designed to generate enough power to propel heavy cargo through deep space. It's essentially a mobile nuclear power plant. Several countries have their eyes on similar technology as a way to shorten trips to space. Right now, a spacecraft relay on solar power or gravity to accelerate. But this new technology means it could take more than 3 years for astronauts to conduct a round-trip visit to Mars. NASA estimates that a nuclear-powered spacecraft could shave at least 1 year off that timeline. What do you guys think about that?
That's pretty exciting. That does sound vaguely familiar. Was that a movie?
I'm not
Space
sure.
Tug?
Well, they call it Zeus. I feel like I've heard of that before.
I don't know. Is that one with Ice Cube in it?
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
anyway, the mission plans for the spacecraft to approach the moon first and head towards Venus, where it can use the planet's gravity to shift directions towards its final destination to Jupiter. The entire mission could last only 50 months or a little over 4 years before returning to Earth.
That is crazy.
Well, like I said before, I mean, I would much rather there be a United States flag on the side of that, but as long as it's humans that are doing it, it's the right direction.
Technology is so advanced nowadays, so advanced.
And we often think, like we think that we're the only ones with advanced
Right.
technology,
Yeah.
when in fact, I mean, NASA was basically that was Nazi Germany, you know, all those scientists, that's the people that made NASA.
Yeah.
Now you got Russia doing something like this. Who knows what China's up to? It's very naive to think that we're the only country with great technology.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, I'd much rather see the United States flag on the side of that because I want us to be number one.
I was looking at the Russian and the Chinese flag, and those flags just look like the enemy. Like, I don't know. I don't get good vibes from them flags at all.
No.
They're solid red.
Well, have you ever saw a flag that you got a good vibe from?
Yes.
Yeah, the Canadian flag. They got a leaf on it.
So happy.
Yeah, they're so happy. It's
I
just
know
a
where
leaf.
that's going.
Yeah, well, it's just like, who puts a leaf on a flag? Even the United States flag's still a cool flag. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It is. It is. I think I like the pirate flag pretty good.
That's not a good vibe flag.
Skull and crossbones.
That's not a good vibe flag, though.
I'm going to look at flags.
What about the Punisher flag?
Punisher flag's pretty cool. Still not a good vibe flag.
Well,
I actually kind of like the Japan flag, too. They keep it simple. It's just a red dot,
Yeah.
simplistic, minimalistic. I like it. Also, United Kingdom. They have, like, the best flag
Yes,
out of everybody. Like, theirs is awesome. That just speaks like British rock and roll. Turkey, man, they have a weird flag. Brazil, it looks like Saturn. Have y'all seen the Brazil flag? It looks like Saturn. Look at it.
oh yeah, yeah.
That's a cool little flag. Man, we need to up our flag game.
Yes, we do. We need to make a flag.
We do.
Here to chew bubblegum flag.
We do.
What would you put on a flag?
I don't know. It's a great idea. What would you put on it?
Colors,
Okay.
words,
What kind of words?
Roddy Piper.
some designs.
Yeah, man. Imagine like the person that had to design the flag. How much? All the weight that was on their shoulders. Now you think you have a hard job? You're designing a flag that's going to stick around for hundreds of years. You better
Well,
do it right.
you know, she did a great job on that. Plus, her bread also tastes delicious.
Shout out to Betsy. But really, and this is just the beginning of this too, with this nuclear technology that Russia's playing with here. So this is going to be a manned spacecraft too, right?
Yes, it'd be manned.
How do they? See, I don't get how that's going to work. Are we even sure about the atmospheric conditions of Jupiter and Saturn?
I don't think so.
Well, this is also Vladimir Putin we're talking
Yeah.
about. He don't care. He's like, just send Billy up there. Let's see what happens.
Which now, maybe they're trying to get to Europa. No. Is that one of Jupiter's moons or is that Saturn's moons?
That's Saturn's moons. I
Okay,
think.
never mind. Then I have no idea what they're trying to do.
I'm just trying to get to Uranus.
Join us next time for a.
So, do you guys remember the alien autopsy footage from the 90s
Yes.
that Fox had?
Yeah.
Okay. A frame of that film is up for sale now. The film allegedly shows the autopsy of the extraterrestrial that crash landed in Roswell, New Mexico. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but a single frame of 16 millimeter film, could it be worth $1 million? That is the opening bid for a negative of the frame of the black and white footage, supposedly taken from 1947, allegedly showing an extraterrestrial corpse on a medical examiner's table. What did you think when you first saw that?
I was younger when I first saw it, but it kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Have you went back and watched it?
Not lately, no.
When I first saw it, I thought, "Wow, this is kind of real."
Mm-hmm.
And then as time went on and I viewed it again, I thought, I don't know if it's real or not. I have no idea. But one of the guys that has the film now, is trying to sell one of the frames for $1 million.
You think he'll get it?
I don't know. This story goes on to say that the frame comes from the infamous and very implausible alien autopsy, said to have been captured on film in 1947 following reports of a UFO crash in Roswell, New Mexico. In the autopsy footage, a lifeless humanoid figure lies on a table. A gaping wound can be seen on its right leg. It has a rounded trunk and belly, dark eyes, and hairless head that is much larger than the average human skull. Where did it come from? Rumors say that it came from Roswell, and that this film and the Roswell tale began to circulate in 1947 after a U.S. Army information officer issued a press release describing a crashed flying saucer from Roswell that was now in the Army's possession. The 1995 documentary aired on Fox Television under the title Alien Autopsy, Fact or Fiction. This introduced TV viewers to footage of the alleged post-mortem of the UFO extraterrestrial occupant. Let's see. In 2006, a sculptor and special effects designer named John Humphreys claimed that he not only crafted the alien in the autopsy footage, but he also appeared in the film as one of the pathologists. Another self-identified participant in the hoax came forward in 2017 and said that he had shot the footage in his London apartment using a model filled with animal organs, as reported by the Australian news site News Corp Australia Network. But this story takes one more strange twist. In 2019, a 2001 memo was leaked from the National Institute for Discovery Science, a now defunct private organization for researching the paranormal and UFOs, allegedly written by physicist Eric Davis. The memo stated that a former CIA scientist named Kit Green evaluated evidence from the Roswell incident autopsy and said that the footage was the real thing. What do you guys think about that?
Who knows? I mean, I want it so bad to be real. I really do. And there's a lot of weird evidence behind it, but they say he got it from a military cameraman.
Yeah.
How is he going to how is he getting that footage without the military or CIA?
Well,
people knowing.
You know,
and he got it while working on an Elvis Presley project.
Well, the guy that bought the footage was looking for footage of Elvis, and he came in contact with the military cameraman, and he said, "Hey, I've got something better," and he supposedly bought it for like $10,000.
Even then, I would want a lot more than. But this is also the '80s. I'd say
Yeah.
10 grand's a lot of money back then.
Yeah. So
I just how did he get that without anybody knowing? Because they kicked Bob Lazar's doors down.
Yes, they
because
did.
they thought he had a chemical.
yes, they did.
I mean, this dude is just walking around with a videotape of an actual alien body.
Yeah.
And just sells it
Well,
all willy nilly.
when this first came out, after it was analyzed, and there might have been another TV special I saw this on, people were going over how accurate the clothing was that the morticians or pathologists would have used.
Yeah.
The clock in the background, the way the room was set up, and they said all of that seemed very accurate to them and true to the time.
By the way, $10,000 in 1980 would be $32,409 today.
Okay.
Still not as much as I would have wanted.
No.
That dude could have got 50 out of that.
Have
Easy.
you actually saw the whole autopsy?
I haven't seen the whole autopsy video, but I'm sitting here looking at pictures of it.
Yeah, that's
and I
what I'm
mean,
doing here.
it's pretty creepy. I mean,
Who knows? How do you fake something like that? What did they say that the Australian guy, he had animal organs and a fake thing?
He had it was they hired a special effects guy to make the alien, and then they filled its body full of animal organs.
Even then, I don't see. That sounds more fake than the original story.
Yeah, I mean,
Because if I'm paying somebody good money to make a fake alien, just make some fake organs while you're at it. Why do you have to kill a kangaroo?
definitely,
Yeah, exactly.
definitely.
Yeah.
And we'll probably never know the truth there.
Maybe on June 1st we will.
Well,
knows?
now we're very excited about that. Now, and we've done some more research on that. The report on June 1st is supposed to go to Congress. It was supposedly not be will release to the public until June 25th. So, or was it June 24th?
6.
June 26th. Okay. So,
Man. That pisses me off.
But the thing is that I wonder what the report will say.
Yeah, it has to. They have to say something.
Have we figured out has CSX or anybody emailed us back in a while?
No.
Maybe we should call them.
Well,
If it was Norfolk Southern, I could help you out.
we can. Do you have a number for him?
I can find that. Though.
Well, find that, and let me talk about something real quick while you're doing that. If there's not nothing out there, we have some statements from astronauts that have made on seeing UFOs in the past. Many astronauts have had experiences. Some of them have been shared. Some of them have not. James Lovell and Frank Borman in a Mercury flight in 1965 saw something that they referred to as a bogey. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin said that UFOs were watching them after they landed on the moon. A Soviet doctor said that colored film of an incident was took and covered up by the CIA. Major Gordon Cooper, the last to fly solo in 1963, stated, "I think they thought the public would be frightened by knowing somebody had some vehicles that had been so much better performance than we had. That maybe it would create panic if the public learned about them." And finally, NASA pilot Joseph Walker said that one of his tasks was to detect UFOs during his X-15 test flight. And that's just some facts that some astronauts have came forward and said, what they think about UFOs and the possibility,
See, I hope that it's aliens. Like, that is like what I'm hoping for, because like that's almost the best outcome. Because if there's another country out there that is way more advanced than we are,
right?
World War III is not going to go good.
No.
It's not going to go in our favor.
No.
Well,
no.
You've got a lot of people right now too on social media, and there's been some news articles that they talk about Project Bluebeam. Are you familiar with that? Mm-mm. That is where and Cronkite's talked about this a whole lot. That's where our government supposedly has a technology to use holograms and fake an alien invasion. And there's a lot of people think that this June that they're going to do that. And for some reason, the numbers 144 have been very significant to these people. I don't know much about it. I've just glanced over the articles and so forth, but that's what some people are claiming.
Who knows? I mean, like, they have some crazy stuff right now.
Yes,
I mean,
they do.
They were working on time travel and everything like that in the early 1900s.
Yes.
They were working with holographic technology even back then, with Einstein and everything that they were doing. Philadelphia Project, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in 100 years, imagine what they have. I mean, heck, we got all this technology here around us. Imagine what they're not telling us.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, and normally, you would say that our technology is 20 years behind the military.
Yeah.
Recently, people have started saying that our technology is 50 to 100 years behind the military technology.
Yeah.
So could you imagine having an iPhone 50 years ago?
Well, no, I wasn't alive 50 years
Well,
ago.
I mean, I wasn't either.
I don't know. The way you just said that, I don't think that you were.
Well, no.
Well, I have family in the military, and I'm not going to say any names
Right.
or anything like that, but they were telling me that they were working with CDs back in the 70s, GPS systems back in the 70s.
Wow.
Like you said, they have technology that's not going to be released to the public for 20, 30, sometimes 50 years, whatever the patent that they have on it is. So, I mean, they were using GPS systems and text messaging and all of that back in the 70s.
Right.
And we're just now having it today.
Yeah.
So imagine what they have.
And we've talked on the show before about the government, the Navy specifically, patenting the more or less UFOs.
Yeah, everything
You know.
UFO that you could think of, they've got.
They have control over it through a patent. And the TR-3B classic. I mean, it was seen throughout the mid '80s up into the '90s. That is a UFO that is man-made by us. And the government still never come clean and said, "Hey, we have this." But there's pictures, there's documented proof, there's documents.
Yeah.
You know,
it was like
we
that
do
the same
have
way
this.
with the Blackbird and stuff like that too. I mean, and who knows? Tesla, whenever he died, that was only back in the 40s,
Yes.
and they confiscated all of his work to try to rework everything. Who knows what they were able to pull off?
Yes.
If him and Einstein and all that had all of these theories on time travel and everything like that, who knows? Who knows? There's some smart people out there.
Oh yes, there is.
Yeah.
Did you find that number?
I've got a couple here.
Okay.
So we'll see which one you want.
Well,
to report a railroad emergency. Don't want that one.
no, we definitely don't want that one.
Do you want the corporate headquarters number? Or would you like the CSX transportation number? Or would you like the ethics helpline? Or would you like railroad ties helpline?
I don't know, but we will take a break and we'll have Elliot's articles and Ned Said. And when we come back, we'll be calling CSX. And it's good that you thought of that because we've not done that in a while. So,
Well, I figured last week you made me call the airport. I figured I'd make you call the CSX.
I didn't make you call.
You did.
No,
Go ahead.
I did not.
During the break, you were looking at me with those eyes, and you had a gun, and you said you're going to call the airport today.
Yeah, you have lost it, my friend.
That's what you said.
We'll be back in just a few moments.
No one knows inside me. She said, what's in your head? I keep running into her face, seeking for answers.
Are you a horror movie fan? Yeah, I dig horror movies. Are you searching for a great internet horror talk radio show to listen to? Why, sure, that sounds quite spiffy. Then you need to tune into deadpit.com. It's the original horror talk radio show. Dead Pit is a show by the fans and for the fans. Uncensored and unbiased opinions are the goal of the show, giving fans honest reviews on new films and vintage classics of the horror genre. Make deadpit.com your #1 horror station destination.
Researching the inner workings of the net to bring you stories of the strange and unusual. It's Elliot's Articles on Here to Chew Bubblegum. Take it away, Elliot.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be listening. This is Elliot with Elliot's Articles here on Here to Chew Bubblegum. Today we've got a pretty special article to listen to. It's the 1976 Tehran UFO incident. The 1976 Tehran UFO incident was seen and noted by both radar and visually in Iran's capital of Tehran, first thing in the morning. The incident caused 2 jet interceptors to lose instrumentation and their communication as they got closer to the object. However, once they withdrew, normal function was resumed. While flying closer, the aircraft prepared to open fire if necessary, and the whole weapon system failed. Now, this is normally something that you see in these types of UFO encounters. Somehow they will always gain dominance over a fighter jet, over whatever military interception we have planned. We still don't know how they do that. Many residents reported a bright light above them in the sky, and pilots had also found that their equipment was disabled until they withdrew. The initial sightings by the residents was explained away by being a possible Jupiter astronomical body. Now, this was also backed by an aerospace researcher who said that the failure of the equipment used was due to the pilot's incompetence and possible malfunction, which bore no relation to the sighting or getting close to it. The first equipment failure came from equipment that was known for its failure and had a history of losing power. Repairs were made just a month prior to the incident, and another theory was that the mode may have been set to manual track, which could have led the readings to be misinterpreted. The bright lights of the 1976 Tehran UFO incident, reported by the pilot, were described to be falling and leaving behind them a trail. The day the incident took place was during 2 meteorite showers that occur each year, known as the Gamma Piscids and Southern Piscids. There was also the Eta Draconid shower, coming to an end, which would explain the sightings of odd lights and objects falling from the sky. The site where the reported crash of the objects was explored, and there was a transponder still beeping, was found, which could explain the phenomenon. When the 1976 Tehran UFO incident is looked at in detail without automatically assuming that a UFO was the cause, only one unusual thing about the incident remains. The only abnormality is that the planes chased after the objects and had failure of their equipment. There had been previous reports where planes had suffered equipment failure, and also those where planes had reported UFO sightings, when in fact they were not identified correctly. Occasionally, both anomalies can correlate, which is what this incident was put down to. Specialists in the UFO field were fast to criticize shows that glorify sightings of possible UFOs and extraterrestrial beings, saying that the basis of the programs were based on presumption without facts to back them up. They added that the events that were quickly named the 1976 Tehran UFO incident could in fact be explained by other causes and did not automatically mean that visits from extraterrestrials had taken place at all. The report from these sightings said that it was felt that the lights were manned professionally and were hostile. However, no injuries took place. This is why professionals discourage speculation of unearthly encounters from aliens and look no further into the incident. With UFO sightings, the speculations are often disbanded quickly with only the word of onlookers to go by. We're getting closer to what most people think may be real disclosure. Now, whether or not we get that disclosure, we'll have to wait and see. But a lot of these incidents from the past need to be looked at with fresh eyes. We may find something there that we never knew existed before, or we may find some bit of information that helps explain this right away if we're not looking with eyes that seek to discredit every person who saw something. Now listen, guys, if you want to listen to more of Elliot or Elliot's articles, Elliot and the Spooky Family, we have our own podcast coming on July 1st, anywhere you can listen to good podcasts. Dear listeners, please stay vigilant. Elliot, out.
It's now time for Ned Said on Here to Chew Bubblegum.
Beef jerky is basically a meat raisin.
When you want fresh, authentic Mexican food, you want El Picante in Coal Run. Dine on sizzling hot fajitas, the freshest pico de gallo, or if you're craving their secret ingredient jalapeno dip, the only place you'll find it is El Picante. Look, there are Mexican restaurants on every corner. The difference is in the mouth-watering food and the great service you'll get at El Picante in Coal Run. Visit El Picante for lunch today.
Howdy, folks. This is the Creepy Kentuckian from deadpit.com, and you're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum.
And welcome back here to Chew Bubblegum. That is amazing. I love that.
You like that.
I about had a seizure trying to keep up with it.
Yeah.
That was intense. That's a good mashup.
Yeah, I love it. Across the table for me, Goose, as always. And next to me is Eli, still doodling Elliot and Eli forever over there.
Actually, I'm uploading us to xnxx.com right now. So,
Just a reminder, if you want to reach out to us, 606-373-3396. Leave us a text, call, or voicemail. If voicemail's clean and interesting, we'll put it on the air. If it's not clean, then we're not putting you on the air. You can email Goose at heretochewbubblegum.com, Cronkite at heretochewbubblegum.com, heretochewbubblegum at yahoo.com. Attention, Ned or Elliot.
So, on these numbers, you think I should try the headquarter one?
Yeah, sure. It's Sunday, so they might not be in.
Okay, well, we'll give it a try here. Let's see. So who are we calling, Cronkite?
We're calling CSX to try to get some information since they've kind of been ducking us.
Let's see.
Welcome to CSX Corporation. Our business hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
What was the second
Please
number?
choose from the following
do trains
options.
not run on the weekend?
To report a
It's
CSX
the,
rail emergency,
It's
press 1.
also another
For
headquarters.
shareholder services, press...
Okay, let's try this other one Cronkite has gave us. Yeah, I think trains do run on weekends. Well, yeah, they do because we can hear them sometimes. So,
Welcome to the CSX Automated Response System. Make your selection at any time during this message or contact us via our web address, www.csx.com.
Hit 0.
For railroad emergencies, press 1. Customers, press 2. Welcome to the CSX Automated Response System.
Yeah, we're trying to call
Make your
CSX.
selection at any time during this message, or contact us via our web address, www.csx.
Well, we're not going to get anywhere there, but hey, we tried. That's all that matters.
Well, the other one is the ethics line. It's not ethical for them to keep them from the public, is it?
You think anybody would answer there?
I don't know.
What is ethics?
Well, let's go ahead and try. We're already in. You all entertained while I call this number?
I think that they're just ducking us. I mean, y'all are talking about the Paintsville incident, right?
Yes.
See, did they ever release a statement about that at all?
I don't think so.
Thank you for calling your Ethics and Compliance Hotline. All information you provide will be kept confidential. To file a new
just like
report,
y'all's
please press 1. To follow up on an existing report, please press 2.
Yeah, 'cause you have
To learn more about NEPS, please have your report key and any security information provided ready. Please hold for the next available communication specialist.
71189.
Your call may be monitored for training, quality assurance, and other purposes.
We may be.
Thank you for calling the CSX Ethics Helpline. My name is Giovanna. Would you like to file a report or follow up on an existing report?
I'd like to follow up on a report. My name is Goose. I'm here with Cronkite and Elliott of Here to Chew Bubblegum. And in the early 2000s, there was a supposed UFO that ran into a train in Paintsville, Kentucky, and we're just seeking information on that.
Do you have a report number for your initial report?
No, I don't have a report number. But we need to get that.
Oh. So if you have made a report with us before, in order for us to access that report, we would need your report number and password.
Okay, well, we will try to get that, and we will call you back. And thank you for your time, and you have a great day.
Oh, thank you, too.
Oh, they've got them talk good. She
didn't even stutter.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
She so smooth,
Yeah.
so professional. Damn, she's good.
That was a little weird right
Yeah,
there.
she rolls her eyes and like, ugh, these guys again.
No, but I mean, all right, think about that for a second. Like he said, she didn't blink an eye. She listened. She asked for the report number and password. I mean, we don't have that.
And then she's like, oh, fuck off then. We can't help you.
You know.
Yeah.
That was... I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that, but that was,
woo.
You know,
how smooth.
Sometimes you can learn stuff by them not saying anything.
Sure.
You know, and I think that we just learned something there.
Yes, we did.
Hearing between the lines.
Yep.
So
that goes reading between the lines.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Have you guys heard of Walter Hoyt?
Yeah.
Halt.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is the original information officer that gave out the original report at Roswell. Well, he passed away in 2005, but before he died,
How do you say his last name?
H-A-U-T, Halt.
It's H-A-U-T?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the information officer at Randlesham was also Halt.
Really?
There's H-A-L-T.
Okay, this is H-A-U-T. Okay. Well, anyway, this guy passed away in 2005. But before he died, he signed an affidavit and left a video stating on what he saw at Roswell. Now, the video, since 2005, was passed around to some friends and colleagues. It has been made public here about 2 weeks ago with UFOs and UAPs in the news. Let's see. A former Army press officer revealed he saw a body of a beaten-up alien the size of a 10-year-old child after the Roswell UFO crash in a bombshell video he made before his death. In the footage released for the first time, the press officer of Roswell Army Airfield, First Lieutenant Walter Halt, recalls his encounter with the UFO and the alien body that had been found lifeless at the crash in Roswell. He was the one that drafted the military's original release of the 1947 crash, which made international news, but the Air Force quickly changed the story and said it was just a weather balloon. Halt says, to the best of my remembrance, there was only one body. It was relatively small body. I compared it to maybe a 10 or 11-year-old child. It was pretty beat up. He said he could not remember what color it was, as it was many years ago. In a signed affidavit he made in 2005 before his death, he also shared and said, "I am convinced what I personally observed was some type of craft and its crew from outer space. This stunning emission on the video confirms extraterrestrial nature of the infamous Roswell crash. The video had previously only been viewed by a small circle of researchers and family members. Given with all the new information on UFOs coming out, they felt that it was the right time for everyone to see it. The confessional video helps to confirm that extraterrestrial nature and a crash did occur in Roswell. With recent release of UFO Pentagon debris test materials, papers with its introduction of technical papers on memory metal, it was found at the debris as Roswell combined with testimony. This makes the incident more likely to have been extraterrestrial related. The video was looked at by a digital voice stress analysis expert who confirmed that Halt was telling the truth. The expert Jeremy Baker said, "My analysis of key portions of the interview confirms that he did believe he was telling the truth about what he recalled about the ET in question. The portions that I was able to use did confirm credibility."
Oh, that's good.
You know,
that's a good one.
All right. Woo! So, you know, you've got this guy.
Yes.
That was his deathbed confession.
Mm-hmm.
And he let him video it. He signed an affidavit. I mean, the guy had nothing to lose. Why would you? I mean, yeah, if it's the end for somebody and they're dying, more than likely they're going to tell the truth 100% about you know, whatever anybody asks them.
Yeah.
You know, they've got nothing to hide. He's not going to fear the government. We've got a call coming in. We're going to take it. Hello, and welcome to Hit or Chew Bubblegum, little brother.
Hey, Goose. How you doing, big brother?
Hey, this is my little brother. This is Little Goose.
Hello, Little Goose.
You're on Here to Chew Bubblegum with Cronkite and comedian Eli Griffith. How's it?
Little Goose.
Hey, Eli. Hey, Cronkite.
How we doing?
I'm doing great. I seen you guys on TikTok just now because I was sitting here at the station.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys ever thought of the Nazi program in Germany, the late stages of it, and if they actually were able to land anything on the far side of the moon.
Well, it's very interesting that you asked that question, little bro, because we actually talked about that on the radio show last week, and then we continue this week on the radio show, which you can hear tonight on 104.9 WXLR or on YouTube. I'm impressed by the Nazi knowledge, and their technology was so far beyond us. If you would have asked me that question 6 months ago, I would have thought, no, there's no base on the moon. I think it's very possible.
I think it's not only possible, I think it happened. And I think it's still there.
I kind of agree with you.
I'm under the impression that they got far enough to actually launch things out of the atmosphere. I'm not so sure that they actually built a base up there. I'm thinking it was more how we do things now, where we will land something on the planet and then send something later on to unpack it to set things up. I think they got the first modules up there, maybe. But other than that, I think after they were defeated, I think the modules that were there ready to deploy were just sitting there. And we probably discovered them, obviously. America's probably discovered them. And, you know, we had Operation Paperclip where we took all their scientists. But
yes.
That's the only reason I was asking, because I heard it on the show last week, so I wanted to, expound more on it. But I think that maybe it's just the capsules there waiting to deploy. So I'm not so sure that it's actually a base. I think they need to be triggered. I don't know if we went up there and triggered them ourselves or the Russians did it, during the space race. So I was just wondering what you guys think. Some of you think there's a base up there. I think it's the tools to make a base are up there sitting, just degrading, or we capture them and use them ourselves.
Well, no, it's very possible. But if you also look at the past theories that we've talked about, as far as the Nazis being part of or getting help from the Anunnaki and the Vril Society and all that, from what I've read, it seems like they started at the moon and then they actually went to Mars, and now they're out in the cosmos. I mean, that sounds a little more far-fetched, but I think it's entirely possible that they at least made it to the moon. Yes, for sure.
What I think is the Nazis, or the Germans, rather, the German scientists, I think they detected something long before we did, a signal of some type. So they were probably they weren't building a moon base to control the Earth. I think they were building a moon base to defend against something possibly in the future, because Congress is going to be debriefed about UFOs next month. So
Yes.
they're finally coming out with all this because there's too many people. There's too many recordings, audio, visual, sightings, testimonies, sworn affidavits. All these people who used to work in the aerial space sites coming out saying, yes, I worked with these materials and seen these recordings and these signals. And there's just too many people out there who are like, yeah, there's something up there. I think the Germans were probably more so trying to build a moon base to have a first line defense against something.
No, that's very possible. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
No, I was just saying that. I was just going to reiterate. Yeah, I think it's a first line defense. I'm sure it could be used to oppress the people once they, quote unquote, conquer the Earth. But I think the primary factor they were setting up on the moon base was because they received a signal or were visited by something, because they invented some type of technology. Because the Germans, they were experimenting with levitation devices, ships that could defy gravity, saucer shaped things. There was all kinds of stuff they were experimenting with, new materials, new sciences, discovering new types of physics. And I think the moon base or the capsules were there for a first line defense. I think they knew something that we didn't, and then the Americans or the Russians found out about it, and we've continued their work for the past 80 years.
I think that they got their start from the, 1938?
1936 Black Forest incident.
The Black Forest incident, because if you're familiar with that, and we've talked about it on the show, you can't find a whole lot online about it because, Hitler had control over the media and he kept it hid. But that's supposedly that would have been Germany's Roswell.
Mm-hmm.
And they recovered bodies and crafts and reverse engineered a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the reason they had a jump start. That was very, I'm familiar with it. I wasn't too familiar with it until your show, which is a good reason why people need to watch your show, listen to your guys' show, watch streaming on the internet, listen to it on 104.9. They need to listen to this because, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, people would label you guys as kooks. The more that the government has actually, the more the government has, but the government has released so much information, especially these past 2 years, that we're not the kooks anymore.
No. I actually said that. Was it last week in a roundtable show when the truth does come out? There's going to be a lot of people that that people have to apologize to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, that's the truth. Absolutely. But going back to the Anunnaki and the Nazis, what was supposedly said between the Anunnaki and the Nazis was that the Anunnaki was trying to create a utopia where no one had to want for anything, no work, no bills, no money, nothing. You worked in society for, the betterment of your humanity. And the Nazis or Hitler took that and kind of tried to militarize it with it. But you also hear about it in several of his speeches when he talks about a perfect race and final solution, blah, 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 all that BS. But it seems like he took a fairly good idea and made it just something tragic, just a terrible, terrible thing. But with the help of extraterrestrials, yeah, I think it's possible he probably lived for 100 years after, and it's probably, there's still probably Nazi scientists off in space somewhere right now.
Well, I don't know, they could be off in space. I think there's definitely still something at Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because there's too much secrecy around that.
Yep.
Now I don't know if our government found it into control of it, but it would not surprise me if you still got a faction of people that originally started by the Nazis that are still there. I mean, I'm not talking about still being alive, but like, their family or generations or, somebody that believed not just their calls. I'm not saying that, but they're science technology calls.
Right. Yeah, and the which we talked about, I think last radio show. I think we talked about there'd been a no-fly zone over Antarctica.
Yeah.
And that would be the perfect spot to launch your secret space force, re-enter the atmosphere or launch or whatever, because nobody can see it. You know what I mean? And you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you get near Antarctica with even a civilian plane, a civilian ship, either the United States or France or Great Britain or sometimes Italians will intercept you, or the Australian Air Force or the New Zealand Air Force, anybody part of the Allies, you will be intercepted if you go down there.
Yeah, and that in itself is strange.
Yes, very.
That's very strange. I really do believe that, you know, our secret space force is probably, if not headquartered there, that's the launch. That's their. What am I trying to say? That's their port of entry. And
well, okay, you have to look. You know, Antarctica is not owned by one nation; it's several nations.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't necessarily say our secret space force. It would be the entire world's secret space force. Now, there's some countries that's not a member of that, or they don't recognize that treaty.
I don't know.
I mean,
right, that's like you know, there's slices. If you look at Antarctica on a geopolitical map, you see slices that, you know, they don't own it. They lay claim to it, the future use. It's so needed. That's why when you go down, you'll also even have like Norwegian warships or Norwegian Air Force down there. Anybody who has signed on to that Antarctica treaty, if you go down there in a civilian boat that has not been, you know, proved and cleared and allowed down there, you will be absolutely escorted or possibly dealt with in a violent manner, depending on your actions from any one of those forces. You know, Norway, Italians, French, anyone, you know, down there.
I said that makes you
very
wonder.
Suspicious.
That definitely
you
makes
can't
you
get
wonder.
near Antarctica. Yeah.
It's very, very suspicious.
Well, what do they have there? You know what I mean? I mean, it has to be something. It has to be something along the lines of what we're talking about, what we're dealing with, because I mean, there's no. Everything else is publicized in the world. You know what I mean? That this would be the last great big secret.
Yes. Yeah. And I totally
you know
agree
what?
with you.
A theory I have is where they probably found another German base down there that was in the infancy or had gotten a very much progress, and then they, you know, the moon. I think they were going to have like a triangular or a square defense. You know, they could shoot something from Antarctica to the moon, bounce it off the moon, bounce it somewhere else on Earth, and possibly deploy some type of energetic field over the Earth as a defense mechanism. I think they were building a huge defense force up there.
Oh, wow.
You know, you know, I think you're right. And because, and we've talked before, you know, when the war was over, there was 50 high-tech, high-capacity German submarines that were never found, and they've still never been found. And I don't remember. Do you remember how many people I said these could hold? I mean, they were over 50 people apiece.
Yeah.
And there's been 50 that's never been found. You know, they have records of these. They know that they existed, but they've never been found. Never, anywhere. So, now, let's say that some of those sink. What is the probability of all 50 of those sinking? That's not going to happen. You're not going to have that.
Well, there's also a lot of talk of underground bases right now. Well, underwater bases.
Yes.
Because a lot of the UAPs, as they like to call them now, in those videos that they've released here in the last few months, some of those have came from under the water.
Yes.
And I mean, if you're trying to hide in secrecy, two of the best places. One, Antarctica, where nobody's allowed to go. And the second is under the ocean. I mean, we know more about the moon than we do our own ocean.
Yes, we do.
Isn't it like the ocean is only 7% mass or something? Yeah, that'd be a perfect place to hide something.
Definitely. I mean, you know, but I mean, you've got 50 missing submarines. I mean, they're all, you know, maybe the government does know where they're at, but they're not saying, you know, but it's never been reported because you had 50 that were not accounting for and are still not accounting for. So those 50 have to be somewhere. And if I was a betting man, I would bet all 50 of them are together in the same spot.
I agree.
I agree. I agree.
I just wonder if those 50 U-boats was a kind of like a distraction. Those sailors that were supposedly on there are the...
Well, you had so many that were captured. You know, you had one that was the war had been over like almost 18 months, and they found it.
Well, no, I mean, I wonder if they were, you know, not all of them, of course, but some of them possibly that's who your Nazi astronauts were.
Right. Well, that's very possible. That's very possible. You
That's
know,
what I was thinking. Maybe they stowed away their best and brightest. Like maybe the people they left behind in Germany, the Operation Paperclip, it would be astounding if, even though how smart and bright they were, and we took them to America, there were people who were even smarter than Braun, you know, who stashed away on those U-boats.
I have
trying
never
to get
thought
away
about
because
that.
they had more work to do to complete.
I've never thought about that, but that's very fascinating to think about that.
And you know, you think about how underhanded and sneaky the Nazis were. It's probably very possible.
You know,
we got the dumb scientists. That's great.
Well, hey, you know, those dumb scientists still got to steal the money.
I'm thinking it. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking it was a bait and switch. They left just enough behind to keep us occupied. Like, oh, Braun knows rocketry. Yes, let's do this. We can make rockets. And really, the best of the best are hidden, and they're creating, you know, propulsion engines that defy gravity down in Antarctica or on the moon or underwater or somewhere in Argentina. You know.
That's a really good point.
That's a
really
very
good point.
interesting theory. I've never thought about that, but now I
Not
am.
either. And you know, when I've got some extra time this evening, I know I'm going to start researching something just a little bit differently to see if I can find something on that. What's your thoughts, real quick?
I mean, call me crazy.
No, you're definitely not crazy. And me and Cronkite feel the same way on this, and I'll ask you your opinion on this. What's your thoughts on Hitler? Do you think he killed himself or that he escaped to Argentina?
Hitler was in Argentina. He died in the 60s sometime.
And I totally agree with you. And
there's no.
I just think he was.
You know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I lean toward that he died. I lean toward that he died in the 60s of a stroke, but I'm completely open that he lived to the 80s. A man with that much power who controlled, you know, at the time when Germany first set off on their course, they pretty much had the most powerful military in the world, probably, next to Great Britain. And you're going to tell me a guy who controlled an entire country and had all those millions and millions of people at his bidding, all the resources and money at his bidding, got caught in a bunker in Berlin, or killed himself in a bunker in Berlin? No, he escaped. He escaped probably 3 months prior. He probably escaped sometime in January, took a U-boat to Argentina, and died in 1964 of a stroke, is what I lean toward. But there is evidence saying that he lived to the 80s, 70s, you know?
Yeah. You know, and I mean, I just think it would have been arrogant for him to have killed himself. And I don't think that his image of himself, because he was arrogant, because he did have all that control and power. I don't think he would have took his own life.
No. He was a megalomaniac.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a megalomaniac. He saw himself as a god. He's not going to kill himself. He's going to try to live as long as possible. He escaped on a escorted U-boat to Argentina, probably heavily fortified. You know, they probably used some technology then that they had, probably some prototype stealth maybe technology or better anti-radar technology, coding, something. Sent him to Argentina, and he lived out the rest of his life in relative.
And we totally agree with you, because the Nazi did have that stealth technology at that time. You know, they had it in planes, they had it in their U-boats and their submarines. They did have that technology.
Yeah, that's why I laugh when people say he killed himself and here's the skull. I was like, that skull has never been proven. It's been proved to be a man. Yeah.
No.
But
no.
Well,
there's no way a man with that, a man who's a megalomaniac, has unlimited resources, has an entire military at his disposal, is not going to kill himself in a bunker. He died in Argentina.
Definitely.
Just like the other.
Yeah, and it was proven that he had several body doubles.
Yes, it was.
So,
you know,
that could be what that skull is.
You know, and if you go back and research his alleged suicide, you know, as soon as they say they found the body, within 20 minutes they dug a hole and burned the body.
Yeah.
I mean, You don't do that.
Yeah, the rest, no. Look what they did to Mussolini. They paraded him out through the street. That's exactly. If that was really Hitler, they would have, even if his body was disfigured, they would have put him on public display in the streets of Berlin and be like, this is what happened to Nazis.
Yep.
Exactly.
You're exactly right.
No, you're telling me that the most evil and powerful man, the most evil and powerful man in Germany, they found him dead, self-inflicted gunshot to the head, and then they take him outside and burn him immediately and bury him? No, they're going to display him like a, as a war trophy. He would have been a war trophy for the Russians.
Yep.
100%.
And I totally agree with you. Well, little bro, we appreciate you calling in. You're going to have to come in sometime and sit in the studio with me and Cronkite when we record our radio shows.
Well, I'm busy with DMS Life, my new son, and my old lady. When I can get time, I told you I try to be there on a Wednesday or a Thursday if I can.
We'll definitely love to have you. Look forward to that. And thank you very much for calling in. You be safe and have a good afternoon. I love you.
I love you, good bro. You guys have a great show. You guys are amazing. So when you guys go live on Mondays on the radio, I put my phone down and let everybody listen. And then on the station on Sundays, I let everybody listen. I love it.
What?
That's awesome.
You guys are always being compared to like Clyde Lewis, Art Bell, George Norrie, all the great.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you very much. You have a good afternoon, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, you guys stay safe. For the Eli, Cronkite, and my big bro, have a good afternoon.
Love you.
You too, sir. Take care, and thank you for calling in.
Again, that was my little brother, Little Goose, calling in. I always love to talk to him.
Yeah.
He brought
up a good point.
He did, and I have never thought of that way. And I'm kind of fascinated by that now.
Is there a gas leak in the studio? Because we haven't thought about that. And then Eli comes in here with like
ear
candy.
Dude, there's always everything's gas with you.
Yeah.
He gets on to me for making fart jokes, but everything comes back to him.
It's
the laughing fart when you make it happen.
An actual gas leak. You somebody fart.
See, well, I'm really big into the cabal and stuff like that. I think that these powerful countries and these powerful people work together, and it totally makes sense to me that Hitler made a deal and just got out of the way.
Oh yeah.
The same thing with Saddam and people like that. What did they say? His body was thrown out to sea.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they're movies, so to say, but in all these big movies like that, they make a deal at the end and then they get away. I mean, like these governments and these countries work together in order to plan out these world wars and stuff like that. If y'all get a chance, look up Bohemian Grove.
We will.
Yes. I'm really into cabal conspiracies and just the people that control the earth and the evil things that they do to get things going. So yeah, I think that Hitler made a deal and got out. But man, this one thing that you brought up about the guy that worked in Roswell, I've never heard about this before.
Yeah. And
this is some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
See, like I love this right here because this is like, this is such good proof. I mean,
definitely. And you've got somebody on their deathbed; they're not going to lie.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there's a lot of military people that do take that to their grave.
Yes.
Like I had an uncle that he fought in World War II, and he escaped a Nazi death camp, and he always swore into secrecy how he escaped, and he's been dead for years now, and I spent almost every day with him, and he would still never tell
you how he escaped.
No, I mean, some of these guys that take it really serious, they will take that shit to the grave.
Yeah.
But this guy right here, I mean, I think he's telling the truth.
I think he is too, because they did like a voice analysis of the video, and the expert said that he determined he was being credible.
Wow.
And I mean, only his family and close friends had this for years.
Yeah.
And like, why would this old man come out and say, what did he have to gain? Somebody like Bob Lazar, somebody can say, oh, now he's famous because of his story. That's why he done it, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was literally on his deathbed. He had nothing to gain from this whatsoever.
No, nothing at all.
Yeah, so, oh man, that's a good one. I've never heard about this.
Well, we're going to take a break. And we're going to come back in segment 3. We're going to give an update on the Ingersoll Lockwood.
I've been looking forward to this all week.
There's a new piece of the puzzle. So we are looking forward to sharing that with everyone. How you like that? NWA Classic Wrestling Team.
Wrestling.
You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. We'll be back in just a moment. Greetings.
We come in peace.
The City of Coal Run Village Mayor Andrew Scott and City Commissioners Beverly Joe Osborne, Big Joe Atkins, Trey Eskins, and Mike Steele encourage you to shop local.
With over 200 businesses, the City of Coal Run Village offers games, restaurants, gas, auto parts, cars, and much more.
You'll find all of this and more in the City of Coal Run Village. Shop local and shop often.
Take a lighter look into the darker side of the world. Join Elliot, Gertie, and Beagle as they jump into the dark abyss of hauntings, serial killers, conspiracy plots, and beyond. The Spooky Family Podcast premieres July 1st, wherever you find and listen to quality podcasts.
What's up, guys? I'm Rebecca Short of The Short Shit Show, and you're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum with Bruce and Cronkite.
And welcome back. A little quantum leap there bringing us back.
I like it. Did you hear me smelling the mic?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Didn't realize
Good morning, Kentucky.
Didn't realize you had me unmuted there.
Yes, I did.
I like
Yes,
to
I
smell
did.
my mic before we start talking.
Yeah. Why do you do that?
I don't know. I can't explain it.
Well, hey, it happens. The smeller's the feller. See, there you go again. You're talking about another fart joke. Dude, you have just proved through this whole show that it is you that does that.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but you're over there sniffing and smelling. Oh no, there. I don't know. Well,
man,
Cronkite, if somebody's just now listening to our show for the first time,
yes,
bring us up to speed. Give us just a quick rundown of who Ingersoll Lockwood was, and it don't have to be quick.
Oh my gosh!
And the Ingersoll Lockwood puzzle,
Okay.
so to speak, that we found.
So this has been a ongoing thing for us for several shows, and it's a lot of information, and there's several stories that combine into one. But essentially, here's the backstory. Ingersoll Lockwood was a man born in the 1800s. He died in the 1900s. He wrote several children's books, usually are named The Marvelous Adventures of Baron Trump. He wrote The Last President, which was also a book. And there are several coincidences. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it can't be a coincidence. But anyway, there's several coincidences. Like he had a friend or a senator or I don't think he was a vice president or whatever, but his name was Leif Pence. He was the last president, lived on the Fifth Avenue in New York City, which is also where Trump Tower is. It talks about civil unrest during the last election, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's a lot of coincidence. So Ingersoll Lockwood was an author and a lawyer. He essentially there's a company now. Now keep in mind this guy died in the 1900s.
Now, also if you research Ingersoll Lockwood, there's not a lot written about him. You can't find out a lot about him.
No, you can't. But now that we have stumbled across a company called Ingersoll Lockwood Incorporated.
Yes.
which has this man's picture on it and talks about future events and
they're the same mission,
Great Awakening. Talking about Ingersoll Lockwood told them a bunch of stuff, and then if you look at their board of directors, it's all former Homeland Security, military, and U.S. patriots.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, we are constantly searching the web for new stuff, and I believe Goose has something for us. Some new stuff.
Yeah, and also we think that Ingersoll Lockwood is connected to Nikola Tesla, Donald Trump, John, and he's connected to Donald Trump through his uncle John G. Trump, who is the one who went through Nikola Tesla's possessions after he passed away, and he told the military there was nothing there of importance.
Yes.
Tesla had 20 trunks missing that have still never been accounted for. Elon Musk comes in because of the company Tesla, and there's some people that think it could be possible that that Elon is a clone of Nikola Tesla.
Yes.
Okay, so, and I don't remember how I stumbled across this article, but I've never saw it before. There is no date on this article, so I don't know how old it is, but it says Nikola Tesla did an experiment. I was able to see the past, present, and future at the same time. Being an inventor, physicist, and mechanical engineer, Nikola Tesla is one of the greatest promoters of commercial electricity. His work is the basis of the modern knowledge we have today in the field of electricity. Maybe some of you already know, but this famous physicist was especially crazy about time travel and investigating time travel. He even tried to make his own time travel car. Not only did he try, but he also claims that his invention was a total success, seeing the future, the present, and the past with it. Not only he, but Albert Einstein gave the public paper in which he claimed that his journey to other times is possible. This work caused some grief, but astonishment in the scientific community. According to some reports, Nikola discovered in 1895 and suggested that space and time could be altered by magnetic fields, discovery that could bring some explanations for the fact that some of Nikola's experiments used radio frequencies. These experiments are said to be the same ones that led to the Philadelphia event.
Oh, wow.
And if you don't know what we're talking about the Philadelphia experiment.
That's the one with the battleship, right?
Yes, it is. Okay. The Philadelphia experiment is described in legends as successful accomplishment of the transformation of a submarine question called the Eldridge USS from visible to invisible for a period of time. The United States has denied that such a experiment has ever happened, but whenever they have the opportunity, it said it is possible that Nikola Tesla solved this mystery. It is still incomprehensive to this day. Nikola Tesla was a genius, that is true, and if he had not been censored, we could have been traveling to the stars by now. Now, here is a new piece of the puzzle. Okay, Nikola Tesla passed away in January 1943.
Yes.
Now, if he did invent time travel in 1895 using electromagnetic fields and radio waves, some people, and I've done a lot of research on time travel, and a lot of the top minds think that if it is possible, you could only travel back to the year where it was first invented and somebody actually did it. So let's say, for instance, that Nikola Tesla did it in 1895. Okay. The Last President book came out in 1896.
Yes, it did.
And now the Barron Trump one came out in 1893, but it don't give a lot about his dad and all that stuff, correct?
I don't think so.
So, but let's say he traveled to it was invented in 1895. Okay. Like I said, the Barron Trump book came out in 1896. So how could that come out a year later? All right, I'm going to try to explain this. Nikola Tesla died in January 1943. Okay. In October 1943 is when the Philadelphia experiment happened. Even though the government says it didn't happen, the date that they're given was October, I think, 22nd, 1943. 9 months after Nikola Tesla passed away.
Sure.
9 months after John G. Trump, who is affiliated with the United States government, went in and looked at his trunks and said there's nothing there of importance. Okay. Now, John G. Trump is Donald Trump's uncle. Okay. John G. Trump did extensive radar work for the U.S. government, and there is a paper trail. He was involved in Project Rainbow. Now, why is Project Rainbow important? Because you and I and almost everybody else knows it as the Philadelphia experiment.
Really?
Yes. So, now, let's say that Nikola Tesla did invent time travel.
Okay.
Okay, he passes away. John G. Trump finds it.
Mm-hmm.
His notes and stuff and the lockers and all that stuff, crates that were missing. Okay. Even before the Philadelphia experiment, maybe he or somebody else. What if John G. Trump was Ingersoll Lockwood?
But how could he be though?
Well, if he's a time traveler, or if he's
what did he look like?
Who's that?
Do they look similar?
I don't really know. I have never looked at that. That's a question that I just thought of when I was saying that statement. But all right, let's say, first let's say that he wasn't Ingersoll Lockwood, but let's say that he traveled back and talked to Ingersoll Lockwood in 1895, and he told him about the last president because he traveled to the future. It's very from everything that we know about this so far, I think it's very feasible. It's very possible.
It's weird, all the coincidences, but I don't think that Trump or Barron are time travelers.
Okay. Now, you said all the coincidences. There's a lot.
Yeah, but also, like, I just don't see Trump being a time traveler. Like, this is the same guy that ran Celebrity Apprentice.
Well, let's say that a member or somebody connected to his family could have been a time traveler.
Now, yeah, maybe that. But because everything that I seen, they were trying to say like him or Barron were the time travelers, and I just didn't see. I watched interviews with Barron too, just to see how this kid worked.
Yeah.
And his favorite food is caviar. He just I don't know. He just sounds like a douche little kid. But I don't see him being a time traveler. Maybe the what was his uncle's name?
John G. Trump.
Maybe that guy. See, I think maybe he had something to do with it. But even then. I'm not a political guy by any means. I don't choose sides
There's
or anything.
Ingersoll.
Okay.
There's John Trump.
They don't really look alike.
No, they don't.
But John Trump could have got one of his colleagues to go back. Now, I'm not saying it's possible. I'm not saying that it happened. I'm saying it could be possible. I think this is another piece of the puzzle.
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, because I think there's too many coincidences for something not to be here. I'm not saying I've got it all figured out, but there's something going on with all these people. They're all connected.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying about the cabal. There's a little thing called Bohemian Grove. It happens in Northern California every year, and I think June or July. It's one of the summer months. But 2 weeks out of the year, you have all types of big presidents, big military people, actors, musicians, the people that run the world, basically, in any form of business, entertainment, anything. They all go up to the Redwoods to hang out. Nobody's allowed in there, and it's very top secret stuff. But Alex Jones, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s, snuck in there with a video camera and got footage of some of the weird stuff that they do in there. And one thing that they do is a so-called fake, human sacrifice in front of this owl god. I forget what they call the damn owl. But it's in front of this huge stone owl, and it's a effigy, a human effigy. I think it's made of sticks and stones and all that. And as they burn it, they supposedly have speakers around there that they make the sounds of like somebody dying. You know, so I mean, the people that are running the world are into some really creepy, weird shit.
Yeah,
and
they are.
But I mean, like, who's to say that like they haven't been planning this out for years? We already know that they plan when we're going to war. We already know when they plan when stuff is going to be released. So I mean, all these connections, like this awakening map that you were showing me, I can see this being a real thing.
Yes,
but it's just so all over the place, and that's why it's a lot of info.
Yeah,
man.
but it's all connected somewhat.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like they know. Like, we all know the 1% that owns everything. If you look at these big companies, how Frito-Lay is also owned by Coca-Cola.
Right.
There's all, and the Trump family.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, like there's a lot of companies that's just.
You really didn't know that?
I didn't.
There's a few companies that own all of the major products that we use on a daily basis.
So Lay's potato chips is owned by Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, you can look at maps about how like these products, it goes to this one big main company. And yeah, they have this shit on lock and key. They already know what's going to happen in the next 30 years, you know? So something like this, I can see as highly possible. I just don't think that Trump or Barron were the time travelers. Maybe his uncle. Maybe.
I don't think that they were time travelers either.
No, I don't.
They're somebody. I'm just going to say this. Somebody, I think, did time travel to 1895 and did talk to Ingersoll Lockwood. I think somebody did that.
Well, and
let me continue. If time travel exists, I think somebody did that.
Maybe, but like I just don't. But also there's like holes too, because they say the last president, but we already know that he wasn't.
Right.
So I mean, like, but what are they trying to tell us in these books? What do the books like even contain? Like, what is the adventure what is the adventure that Barron Trump goes on?
The 1900s, the last president, you're basically living right in it now. What it described in the book.
Well, and
see, like that's what I'm saying. What do they describe in the book? What's like the world that they're describing in this? Because that could be the clues that they're trying to tell us.
Well, it was a lot of the coincidence was part of the civil unrest and the riots and things like that.
That happens in the book.
That happened in the book, yes.
Wow. See, that's the weird stuff right there.
Now, what I was going to say is the Barron or Donald may not have traveled back in time, but whoever did that wrote the Barron books, perhaps the kid Barron that's alive now, maybe that's who he was named after.
Right.
And also the
just go ahead and say it.
No.
Gotta say it.
Okay, all right. Think about how the Ingersoll Lockwood website is worded and how it's a great awakening and how we're going to make everything better.
Right.
Donald Trump ran on the platform, Make America Great Again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is all linked up and related somehow.
To Donald Trump.
To Donald Trump somehow.
Well, I think it's connected to Donald Trump, and it's definitely connected to his family.
Yes.
You know, because, I mean, you can't say that it's not, because John Trump was the one that went through Nikolai's stuff, you know. And you can't say, even though he said there's nothing there were 20 of his crates that were missing that have never been found. And some of that stuff is still being held. Now, the government has released some of the stuff on, I think, Black Vault. You know, it's on the Black Vault website. Some of the stuff is still, to this day. And this is stuff, you know, pre-1943 that he did that is still being kept secret.
Yeah. Well,
so there's definitely something there. You know, I'm not saying we figured the mystery out, but, you know, there is something there.
I think that there is something there, but, I mean, it's, who knows? These people are so smart, and they have shit so planned out perfectly well that it's hard to, like, get in on it.
Right.
How about Fred Trump?
Oh, that's a. Who is Fred? Who is that?
Fred is Donald Trump's dad and
Really?
John Trump's brother.
Wow. That's a very close resemblance to Ingersoll Lockwood.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? The world is so weird that, like, I don't throw anything.
They have, like, the same nose and the forehead.
I know. Like, it's kind of creepy. Not even John Trump looks like Fred Trump.
I was just so disappointed in his presidency, to be honest. I thought there at the end he was going to come out and just let everything out of the vault.
Well,
just tell us everything.
And I still think that could be possible, but he got censored on the social media, on all that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he hasn't.
Well, you can still go to his website, and I've checked it out on there. But still, damn, I was just looking forward to him, just coming out and saying everything.
Why wouldn't he do that right now? Because he has plans maybe to run again, And I know we say we don't talk politics on this show, and we're not a political show. We're just, giving our opinions on the Ingersoll Lockwood thing. But what if he's going to run for president again?
I don't think that...
And then after that, then he'll spew everything.
I think he could already. Because, he has to be briefed on some stuff. He knows some stuff.
Yeah, he definitely does.
But I just don't see... if he wants to run again and win for sure, then that's what he needs to, base his campaign off of. Because everybody will vote for him then, just to hear the actual truth.
Yes, I agree. Well, a few more years of rising gas prices, I'm sure he's not going to have much of an issue either anyway.
But
there you go again. Gas. How many times is that he's mentioned gas on the show?
I'm saying gas. I'm not talking about farts. Oh, God, farts. But that's what you do.
Yeah, who knows?
Good one, Cronkite. Good one.
Thanks, man.
He is part of a powerful family, though.
Yes, he is.
That is all buddy with everybody else. See, whenever he was running with Hillary, him and Hillary used to be like that back in the day. It's all I'm a big wrestling fan,
and open,
and that's all politics is a big wrestling show.
Yeah. Yes.
One person is really mad at the other one, is going to kick their ass in the ring, and then whenever they go behind the curtain, they're hugging each other.
Best friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't pick a side or anything. I don't like the government as a whole. That's where I stand. But I just I think that these powerful people have a big plan figured out.
Let me ask you a question off the record. We've toyed with this idea, Cronkite and I. We even asked a couple weeks ago, we asked Elliot, I think, and Justin what they thought. I've asked some other people what they thought. We've had some emails. We've not read them on the show. Some people want us to do a segment or a whole show where we talk about world events and we give our opinions on it. I'm not necessarily for that. I'm open to a segment that we call Get Real, where we just come in here and we stand up on our soapbox and we just tell it how it is on one subject. What's your thoughts on that?
It would be good, but that's opening up a big ass can of worms.
Yes, it is.
I'm kind of worried about it myself.
Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and they all smell.
Yeah, I'm very abrasive.
But the thing is, though, you also can't be scared because I'm like that sometimes. But man, we live in a world today of censorship.
Yes, we do.
And if somebody's got to say it, and unfortunately, you may be chastised and dragged through the mud, but it's almost like you're putting yourself out there as a sacrifice. If somebody's going to actually say the truth,
I could see
as well be
good in us doing it. I could see bad in us doing it.
That's everything.
The world is and not to go into details, the world needs more good stuff. People need more good stuff to happen to them. Yeah. We've recently got on TikTok, and there is some videos I've watched. There's some evil people on there that make some evil comments.
Yeah, people are awful.
There's just one girl that I follow that Here to Bubblegum follows, and she's in a wheelchair. She's disabled, and some of the stuff that people say to her is just, oh my God, it's just like, where the hell were you raised at? You don't talk to people that way.
It's better if they're in on it. Yeah, like if the person's in on the joke, but if it's not, then that's
Oh,
just
no,
crazy.
no, this is not a joke. This is like true hate.
But and this is also the same generation that's always anti-cyberbullying and all that crap, and they're
the ones that do
worst.
it.
They're the
Yeah.
world's worst.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the perfect example is Alex Jones. I mean, people have drug him through the mud.
Yeah.
He's censored. You can only find him on Infowars.com.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, if you want to hear the truth about something, he's
Go
the
listen
guy.
to it.
Yeah, he's the guy to go to. I know he's got stuff wrong before,
And he's
but
a little dramatic.
and very dramatic. But every news organization is that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't name one major news outlet that hasn't had to backtrack a story.
Sure.
They're just not drugged through the mud and talking about very sensitive topics like he is. Like, I know the Sandy Hook thing, he got very wrong, and that was
Right.
very, very way too far out there. But like I was saying earlier about the Bohemian Grove, how he had that right. He was talking about all these the UFO, UAP videos years ago before these major news outlets would
Picked
ever
up on
touch it. Yeah, so I mean, you have these people that take that chance and are basically crucified, it seems like, but those are the heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what y'all two are, man. I mean, y'all are, hell, just...
I'm no hero. I'm just a man in a van.
But I mean, really, like, y'all...
See, you said it, man in a van.
You have the balls to actually talk about this stuff, though.
Yeah.
And you're dropping knowledge on folks. Like the UFO, well, the guy that was talking about
Walter
the
Hall.
autopsy,
Yeah.
I never heard about that
Right.
until today. You're never going to hear about that
Right.
on Fox or CNN or MSNBC. It is basically coming down to the people. And if you can find somebody trustworthy enough,
Right.
Well,
listen
you
to
know,
them.
that's something we're still kicking around. We may do that. You can always call, text, or leave a voicemail 606-373-3396, or email Goose at here-to-chew-bubblegum.com, Cronkite here-to-chew-bubblegum.com, Ned or Elliot at here-to-chew-bubblegum at yahoo.com. If you do think we should do a segment called Get Real, send us an email and tell us why. One thing before you talk about that, I want to mention, and you were mentioning, we were mentioning today's kids, and a lot of the boomers, the older people talk about, technology's ruined them and this and that, but then you get some boomers that they're on life support, so they need that technology.
Sure.
Exactly. I'm all for technology.
Oh yeah, me too.
I was making a joke, but
Yeah.
but
Wait, I missed the joke. What was it?
well, boomers are always saying you got your technology and this and that, and if you've got a boomer in the hospital that's on life support, he's needing new technology.
Well,
it's very ironic.
Yes, it is. Don't you think?
Yeah, it exactly.
Just for the record, Boomer, what would you want done in the hospital? You're getting that. You're getting close to that age.
Oh, dude, just go ahead and talk about what you wrote down there.
Well, I was going to ask. I was actually going to ask you to ask him, but since you were on a roll.
Yes,
I'll go ahead.
I will let you ask him.
Okay, whatever. Eli, we have been kicking around the idea of doing a Here to Chew Bubblegum app, where local podcasts like Justin's and Elliot's and whoever else, maybe even yours, would like to be part of the app, where we just do that, and then the shows that are listed on that platform can be accessed anytime, 24/7 to whoever wants to.
That would be awesome.
I mean, I think it'd be a good idea.
See, man, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, it's such a beautiful thing how we're all working together.
Yeah.
And we all come from different backgrounds and are into different stuff. And when you combine those things, I mean, like, it just opens doors. Like,
yes,
your audience is different than mine, but whenever we join forces,
together,
we combine those.
Yes, we do.
It's so cool how, like, there's just not a lot of ego involved in podcasting. I've noticed that whenever it comes to music, of course.
Right.
Yes, yeah. But with this, it's literally just talking. It's
Goose likes polka and bluegrass. I found out.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
Billy Strings. If anybody likes bluegrass, check out Billy Strings.
Before we go, let's do one quick exercise.
Okay.
If you've watched TikTok,
I don't exercise.
You've seen where I'm going to pass the microphone to somebody so and so. Okay, let's do that right now.
Let's not.
Okay, What? Yes, this is going to be fun.
Let's not.
I passed the microphone to somebody who loves penis. You're up, Cronkite.
I was the one talking about making sweet love to Elliot earlier.
Yeah, why aren't you jacking with him?
Elliot, the offer still stands. Or is bent over. I mean, like, whichever one you want.
All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pass the mic to someone who likes sniffing his own farts. You're up, Goose.
I'm going to pass the mic to somebody who likes dog food.
I watched that,
biscuits
man.
were good.
That was crazy.
The bacon strips sucked.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Is there anything, thank you very much, my friend,
anytime.
for being here.
Is
there anything you want to plug or?
Just look up Elijah Griffith. Unlike it whenever you find out actually what it is.
Unlike it. You're supposed to like it though.
But yeah, just if anybody wants to check me out, it's always good. Also, Appalachian Adventures on TikTok, since we're talking about TikTok. I'm having a lot of fun with TikTok,
Good.
man. It's such a cool app.
We are too.
I was the boomer, like y'all were talking about, saying like all these bunch of rich 13-year-old white kids on there just dancing to Doja Cat. That's what I thought it was. But no, man, it's actually a really cool app that you can learn a lot from. There's all types of people that use it. So yeah, shout out to TikTok. Even if it's Russian or Chinese owned, they can steal all the information they want to. I don't care. They've got it anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, they've got it with your phones and everything. I mean,
they're stealing my information. Dude, they already got it. Shut up.
Yeah, they do.
I dig it. There's a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of stupid stuff on there, but it is what it is. I made a TikTok the other night.
For real?
Yeah.
What kind of TikTok was it?
It was terrible. Here, hang on. I got it.
It's called Cronkite Farts.
That would be if you made a TikTok just of farting, people would watch it.
Yes, they would.
I would watch the hell out of that.
Yes, they would.
I'm surprised this TikTok isn't.
I mean, you might have. See, it's
that
cool.
is the best TikTok I've ever saw.
Hey,
it's hysterical.
I passed the microphone to somebody that likes to dress up like a woman.
That's hysterical.
Hey, that deep fake stuff is getting weird.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I want to thank Carlin for all the voiceover work, CK, Uncle Bill, and the rest of the gang over at deadpit.com, T-Shirt Joe at FastCustomShirts.com. Be sure to check out Talk Junkie with our friend Justin Perkins and Down on the Holler with Jordan and Brad. Again, very special thanks to comedian and friend of the show, Eli Griffith. Again, thank you very much for joining us. You have an open invitation anytime you want to come back.
Man, anytime. I love y'all guys. Y'all keep spreading the truth, doing what y'all do. Y'all are badasses.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Coming up on July 31st, if you guys are in the Pikeville area, the Pikeville Comic and Toy Con. Pikeville Comic Toy Con at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. We will be there, Goose and I.
Yes, we will.
You can get more information at PikevilleComicCon.net. They also have a Facebook page, or you can contact the e-store and comic and tech shop on Facebook, or call 606-263-4946 for additional information. You can also call us. We like getting phone calls too. 606-373-3396. You can call, text, or leave a voicemail. Goose at here-to-chew-bubblegum.com. Cronkite at here-to-chew-bubblegum.com. Here-to-chew-bubblegum at yahoo.com. Attention Ned or Elliot in the subject line.
That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week. And until then, so long for now.
We'll see you.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.